This is it.
Ridiculous.
Test.
You need to.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Elijah.
You're a beautiful crowd.
Oh, you said
Thank you so much for coming tonight. I know there's a lot going on in this city right now, but you chose to be with us here today, and that's great. Unfortunately, someone will not be here with us today, and that's Jack Corcoran. But he told me to take the lead, so I told him I will. And it's so lovely to see all of you. We're going to get started. So welcome back. Thank you for coming out to San Marcos Poetry Wake the Dead. Welcome back, writers, artists, composers, friends, sculptors, painters, to the room in which we speak and listen, a language that never ends, and a silence that always pretends to be nothing is wrong, nothing is right. When everyone is living for the moment that your words burn their insides bright or black, like the light you previously lacked. Before you said, "This is what I saw, this is how I feel," give us your deepest, unsettling words, impossible, irreplaceable imprint of you. In the brighter side of the page where the earth is made ashamed of its speechlessness. And even 20 words surge like a school of sea critters out of your mouth and into this. Give me your literary bleak or your bliss. And we'll make something that both screams and sings with spontaneous syndication, like this. And the overarching claim to art where the act to stand and speak buys authority. And the awe weaving through us all as we sit and soak and speech explodes. A silent blue chill through your nerves. Give me your curves and your creases. The specks of you in the dry pools of sweat. The limitation's wrong. You see what the long fronds of possibility involve. And the enveloping dawn has her claim to illuminating resolve. So why start in a minute when the seconds dissolve you and evolve you through the schemes of loss? Give me your garden of emotions at the greatest cost and risk. And leave your history exposed to each's history in personal prose. It never ends, it never goes. Give me your laughter. Give me your lies. Give me your memory. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Elijah, and we have a list tonight, so I want you to ask yourself, am I a poet? And if the answer is yes, then you need to be on that list. Any first-time readers tonight? Raise your hand. First-time readers, give it up.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome. We're really excited to hear you. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to ask Thom and Magic Jack. Please come up.
One of these days, you're gonna poke our eyes out.
No, never was egg. I swear, this story started long before us. 24 years ago, came to this town which was Austin like San Marcos is Austin like salamanders, like water, like subterranean creatures that gasping for air in another element. And we were hungry for metaphor, we were hungry for tribe, and there was nowhere to go. There was the Houston Tillerson faculty who remembered the Harlem Renaissance and are still hooked on Langston Hughes. There was the Resistencia crew who were Chicana, Puerto Rican, and they were hooked on revolution. And there were the lesbian women who ran Chicago House 603 Trinity, which was a place where O. Henry used to have salons and soirees in the 1890s and do Gilbert and Sullivan Sunday afternoons. When you're hungry, any food will do. So we tapped on every door, we had nothing at all, we shared that nothingness, and And it came back to us, Mexicante said, yeah, you want poetry, you can have it here. Finally, book people said the same before they turned corporate. And we asked every poet, they didn't know they were poets, we asked every human being, are you a dream? And those that were turned up at Mexicante Museum in 1993. And it was at Easter, which is a foolish thing to do. It's hard to put something up against resurrection. But we resurrected ourselves. And this weekend we've just done 3 readings today, and this is an invitation to say the past is gone, but the present lives on. Down there, it ain't Austin, it's you in Austin. So this invitation is for Saturday night at Strange Brew, which is a 25-hour-a-day coffee shop, to have a continuous 7-hour poetry reading, a round robin like this one. Every person in the room, if you are true, I will listen to you. Saturday, Strange Brew, midnight to dawn, come through, come through, come through.
Thank you so much, Thom and Magic Jack. People, if you don't know Thom or Magic Jack very well and you want to grow in your poetry, please link up with them.
So true. Accuracy.
So, we have next, Summer.
Summer!
You're welcome. This is a poem I recently wrote called Love Sonnet, written at Twin Falls at Bergen, Texas. I go slow sometimes, just taking my time, careful not to move too fast, savoring each moment, each last component, 'cause don't it seem strange? Things change. Ever flowing down river, then up into vapor, and then landing again in the mist. Never still, ever changing, never will it remain as it is. The constant is change and can rearrange. And Buddha and Gandhi and Christ and his army, according to great men, so I'm told, will disarm the armies with love. Turbulent growth explodes, vacuums of space implode. Embrace what is known in the soul of all being. Connected or not, there's always a spot in this tapestry of time we're all weaving. So I take my time to tune my third eye and embrace the power from above. Step or stay still, my body is willed to resonate harmony of love.
Thank you, Summer, for presenting the magic of love, change, and all other things. And Magic Jack, you're next.
Yeah.
I like your Bernie sticker.
Yeah. Feel the sticker.
Man. Just hoping he does well in New York, that's all.
He will.
I think that's all.
Okay, that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. How we doing? Hey, all right. Happy to be here. So this is called How We Destroy Our Country and Ourselves. We have destroyed ourselves and sent our youths out to fight to the death. We have destroyed the cohesion of our own families under the stress of continued war. We have destroyed and we have destroyed again. We have destroyed and continue to destroy towns, villages, neighborhoods. We have destroyed countries. We have eliminated fathers, mothers, children, and they call it collateral damage. We have impoverished our nation to fashion bigger and more powerful weapons. We have impoverished our nation with the cost of waging war after war. We have neglected that which makes our own nation grand. We have neglected our citizens. neglected to provide for the least among us. We have neglected to find the best education for all of our children, not just the privileged. We have neglected to provide good living wages to our citizens, but rather pay slave wages in other lands. We have indebted our children in a trap of binding financial servitude in exchange for a college degree. We have no jobs for those to whom we educate so that they could start a successful and rewarding life. We have imprisoned more, housed more behind walls, written them off because we have no need for them. We have imprisoned those who come in desperation to our low-wage employers and blame them for their poverty. We have delayed the building of our infrastructures. Our roads and our bridges are suffering and falling apart. We have delayed providing the quality health care at reasonable rates to our most needy fellow citizens. We have given our bankers a free rein over our economy, and they have gambled our futures. We have forgiven them and bailed them out, but they do not return the favor to us. We speak of living in peace, but what peace have we given? What peace have we earned? Abraham Lincoln was quoted as saying, "America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we have destroyed ourselves." Thank you.
Destruction from every angle, but from one angle it shouldn't come from, is from the self, and poetry is that fight against self-destruction. David Young, you're next.
Treasure of truth, eternal flame. From the womb of poetry rests the universal rhyme, where wood prey of histrionic is set to the stages of time, wherein souls of creation blossom forth the phoenix flame, where poets of acclaim dwell on library shelves of fame. They are the philosophers, scholars of headstone bookbinders, that see generations and words potency in reading reminders, teaching us the art of communication that create imagery flowers, that germinate minds with skills to tower on mental wings power. That the Tyrea of poetry's soul is a treasure of truth, eternal flame. Thank you.
I love your hat.
Oh.
Thank you. Either makes me Ben Franklin or a pirate, or if I lift up my leg, I become Captain Morgan.
Thank you so much, David Young. The reason why we're here is to become better at the art of communication. Every moment, every time we come here. Trev the Road Poet.
Yay! Trev the Road Poet!
Road Poet, sorry.
Thank you. I'm actually from England. I make no apologies for it because I'm a friend of Thom, and his ancestors actually came from England initially.
Deported.
Deported, yeah. Again, fighting against what they thought was wrong. Unfortunately, other people didn't see it that way. But I actually do. I write poetry while I'm travelling, hence the term road poet. I don't write it on the road because it will wear my pencil out. Can you imagine taking the poem through customs? The officer says, "What's that?" "It's a poem. It's on a piece of tarmac." "Yes, it's a road poem." This is one I wrote on. A lot of my poems are written on location. This was written in Austin last night. Red and food court, it's Wednesday night. Poems to read, people to delight. On the stage, there in the open air, read what you like behind the mic. Your choice, enjoy the sound of your own voice. Listen to others, poetry sisters and brothers. Listen quietly or interject, then applaud, showing respect. What better way to end the day? Thank you.
All right, Malia.
Hello, how are you all doing?
Yeah.
Alright, so this is my first time reading some. This poem is titled, I Ran. Out of fear, fear created by confusion, that led me to believe I was mad. As flat feet struggled to find open ground, I felt myself going down. Hard like a racing horse, losing its legs from under its collapsing body. Legs, knees, arms, bruised and bled from the collision made with the pebbled ground. Not only does the redness from the surface, within the surface, but the fear is fully exposed. Fear paralyzed my body, leaving me as useless as the racehorse with broken legs. So put me down, because I cannot make it all the way home. This ground is no home.
Wonderful first read, Malia. Wonderful. Thank you. Tyreeka.
He needs to sign up.
Yeah. Is it too late for me to sign up? Okay. Never. Never. Okay. There you go.
Pass it around. I'm sure there's someone who hasn't.
Okay, this is my first time going. I wrote this poem the night after my grandma died.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
If silence is the loudest scream, why has anybody heard me? I mean, my mind's in one place where my feelings, they tend to desert me, and pain heals out, but these tears here were worthy. I constantly give love to people who don't even deserve me. Like, you're supposed to have my back, so how could you hurt me? I've given my all to people time and time again, even when my spirit was hurting, so I may never understand how this cold world came into existence. I push my feelings so far back so that my heart can keep a distance, because if I let that thing near me, those around me might see that my smile had become as faint as my faith, and I had no fight left in me to finish this never-ending race. I mean, how could I possibly feel love when every time push comes to shove, I'm told to stand still? While these grim winds hit my back at 90 miles per hour, and all I have to fight with is my will. I mean, they say that words don't hurt you, but these words right here could kill me. I mean, I'm starving, even though I never miss a meal clearly, and my flesh is intact when my soul tries to roam. I mean, it's in many places, and decided that that wasn't a home. So misunderstood at 16, feeling emotionally alone. It's like I'm at war with myself, but I'm fighting me all alone. Trying to figure out where exactly I belong, because thy kingdom come and thou shalt be done. But Father, I'm in need of your presence. I've thought of so many things and thought back at the end of the day, because I'm gonna regret this. And I couldn't put these blocks in like Tetris. These feelings were gripping me where I laid my favorite necklace, and I still don't understand. Like, who could I blame for my trouble? I wish and prayed twice, that was double. And even then with the devil, I'm still in a rumble. But this was past versus present. So today I say that these words are my weapons. I keep my feelings locked away and covered by this massive aggression as I wait for my heart to have its final redirection. And I use these elements as my own protection, but only to realize that I do it to myself. If I don't pull it all together, I might compromise my own health. And it's crazy how I feel best alone. Like when I'm in public, I wish I could click my heels 3 times, because there's no place like home, and I find comfort in loneliness. Like, isn't this pretty twisted? If I took the you out of me, would anyone get it? Like, did you catch that? I love me so much that I'm starting to regret that. But wait, did you get it? I'm talking about the love that I have for myself. I mean, I think on it every day and still can't decide if I'm in love with me, the world, or my wealth. And I understand that y'all don't understand me because my story is untold. Like 40 years from now, will I feel younger, or my vibrance have grew old? And I pray on things I've been told or things that I feel. I mean, my mind's at war with my body, and they're fighting at their own will. So I guess this is death by catastrophe. Whichever one survives can tell the aftermath of me.
Did it turn it up a little bit?
Yes.
It's hard to hear back here. Thank you.
How was that?
Better.
Okay. Incredible first read, Tyreeka.
Yeah.
You'll find that whenever you read your poetry, it just becomes more and more real. It's because people hear it and they relate to your feelings. Joe Riojas.
Okay, usually my poems are short and sweet and usually about love, I guess. This one is more about being in a dark place. I don't know, it's hard to explain after that. It's just called Persevere. I'm looking out, far deep in my mind, my vision obscured by something similar to darkness. But what do I know about the mirage? With wild imagery that plays in the background, suddenly you're lost in a thought or a dream, one that passed by in just that moment. Most times there's no choice in which one you're stuck in. And time ticks on as to the world. You're still awake. Disappeared for a second. Gone for at times felt like minutes. Returning lost sometimes as to where you are or come from. Such tragedy and wondrous glamour, and how tragic the time. But these are not wanted escapes, and at times definitely not enjoyable. One must press on, for however long his heart can stand. Lay withered in the mind that has felt awake for hours, for what is only seconds. Exhaustion becomes an all too familiar friend and foe. Though you don't see my battles or scars, know I fight to be here or anywhere, and more if it's with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Next we have Cynthia.
I was published. Yay!
Yay! That's wonderful!
This is the artwork that accompanies the piece. So, this might be for your grandma. The first day of spring. The first day of spring, on frozen, snow-covered earth, a wreath of white lilies announce she is no longer here. The midday sun carries a shadow of memories across the stone graced with her name, memories of the mundane tasks of love's day-to-day. I lie on her grave, face up, moving my limbs out and in to create an angel we never believed in. Her body frozen, my body shivers in this cold. There is no magic, no sign. With each cutting breath, the crunching sound of frozen snow marks my steps.
Thank you, Cynthia. Next we have JD.
Hello, y'all. This song is called Giving Love Return. No, wait. You're not giving love return. Okay, I'll just do it. I had to get my heart broken for it to come back open. Open to what I've been shown. Open to what I have known. To come back to the fold. That God's love and will be told, that my purpose in life unfold, to honor God, not out of fear of what can be given or took from me, to trust in God, making it clear that returning that love God shown is the meaning, and returning that love God shown, all will be seen. My prayers before thinking, God, I'm so sorry, but only wanting to be given mercy, and inside knowing, now look at me. By my praying, I'm really saying, God for me feels mercy. In this gift, please will you give so that I won't worry. In that gift beam, on that gift basin, a showing of my loyalty. It took time for this to see. It took time for things to be. It took time, now I seed. Giving love, return. Love that smoldered after it burned. Love that was just an ember in the ashes, but a love I trusted, making it known will happen. Giving love return, with it I have learned, and as a phoenix within my spirit, forever this fire will burn. With giving love return.
Very moving. Thank you, JD. Scott.
Yeah.
Next.
Great Scott.
I like your shirt.
Okay.
That is a fabulous.
It's a springboard.
I like the dragon.
think I can do that without those are the spreads, but they're good on one side. It's not too busy, so again.
The room filled up. There were naysayers here at about 7:15 thinking nobody would be here. So I'm glad y'all are here. Wah. My favorite character is the cow. So.
The cat.
This morning, somewhere in the shadowy place I call my mind, I could see the mist clearing and knew a new day was being born. It might be that it was only in one soul or one heart or one joyous uncovering that I found myself here. I don't know for how long. That's not true. I do. Because 2 months from now, or before 2 months from now, I'm going to have to leave this place. Home of mine for coming up on 20 years and move back to some place I find eminently distasteful. And it makes me think about how all these poems, all this writing, all this love we give is really nothing more than transplanting a seedling from your own heart to somebody else. And every once in a while you'll see a song or a tune or a love blossom and bloom, and it's as if the whole world shone on this room and everything else around it. And I wonder myself sometimes about if there really is a gardener, because I know for certain it never stops raining. I've had a hard time getting used to that idea recently, that summer coming up on us, it's going to be dry as a bone, but the love will still come raining down. And when I think to myself tonight how it's going to go or unfold like some origami bird, the one thing I keep thinking to say is drink so much, so full till you're overflowing, you can give it to somebody else. Let it all come out, let it all go heard in some wandering place all not far from here. Because outside these walls there's a world, and sure it beats up on itself, but the hawk will always kill the dove unless there are no more birds. So be kind to the neighbor sitting next to you. I don't mean the one in your household, I mean the one right next to you here and now. Love them and let them be the doorway you step through into a land so bold there is no need to tell it at all. I'm coming unfurled from the sky and dropping down into a dream called eternal peace is love. I want to be transplanted into the heart of another so their love can shine. Let it go. There ain't no
Beautiful. Wherever you go, Scott, take us with you. Direct all your music to a place that includes us.
I may come back. I don't know.
Yeah.
We won't get sad yet.
Yeah.
Nobody gets sad yet. All right, who's up next? Reed. Reed. Is there anybody named Reed in here? It's the name under Scott, and it's kind of scribbly. I can't read it. Reed.
What number is it?
13.
Hey, happy number. 13.
Spelled with 2 E's.
Okay, so whose ever name this is, if you feel forgotten, raise your hand and we'll just bring you back into the list. Okay. Debagana.
Yours.
Okay, sweet.
Front row. Yeah, lucky.
Right?
I write in Bengali, that's my native language, and then I translate the poems in English with the help of my poet friends. So I'm going to read the Bengali first. I know you will not understand it, but just to listen the sound. আরও একভাবে শান্তি খোঁজা যায় আজ তোমার বুকে মাথা রেখে ভরাট নিঃশ্বাস নিলে ঝিঝি শব্দ মাখছে অন্ধকার ধরে রাখা জল পাতা চুইয়ে আমার গালে গাল ছুঁয়ে তোমার আঙুলের ফাঁকে আমার আঙুল তোমার ঠোঁটে বলো না আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি Let's find peace another way tonight. We breathe in unison. My head on your chest. Crickets chirping seeps over darkness. Dripping leaf-ladled water on my cheek. Trickles between your fingers. Until my fingers find your lips to say, don't spill it. I hear already. Thank you.
Thank you, Debagana. We have next Victoria.
Victoria!
Sorry guys, slowly making my way up there. Oh, sorry. Okay. Hey!
Whoa!
Oh my gosh. For once I think this is actually too tall for me.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah, that's the first.
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah. Okay, so recently I've been dealing with a lot in my life, both emotionally and physically. I got bronchitis, so I've been coughing like no other, and I've been dealing with a lot of emotional stress, so I ended up kind of venting into a poem. I hope you guys like it. It's called The Torturous Art of Healing. Healing is the worst thing someone can endure. It ensures that person is forced to find a cure. Healing is hard and most unpleasant. Using time is a harsh disinfectant. It rips gashes and holes and scars long scab over to ensure the wound really does recover. Healing is impossible for those unwilling to release past memories they thought were forgotten and deceased. When people refuse to realize hate is disease, controlling your mind, your thoughts, your beliefs, some don't want to get better. They would rather suffer and let fear fester. Some would rather die than expose the pain inside that's looming behind those eyes till everyone knows you cried, till everyone knows you've lied. They know you're sick. They know you're hurt. Try to cover the pain and seem alert to the terminal case of life you cannot desert. Healing is slow, painful, exhausting. It bleeds and blurs mental and physical injuries in passing, leaving them haunting the plains where the heart should be, where the hope should be, where the life should be, where you should be, where the healing should be, where the realization you'll never be the same actually is.
That's great. We're really glad that you recovered from bronchitis.
Recovering.
Slowly recovering.
Yeah.
Next, they are between J and L. We have K.
I see what you did there.
Vitamin K.
We love you.
We love you.
And this is too small for me. This works? This is all good? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. This is titled The Problem with Writers. The problem with writers is that we can sound like we know everything. We know a little about a lot of things, but are experts in almost nothing. The problem with writers is that we're hardcore addicts. See, know a writer for a day that has not written within 24 hours, and you will see them experience physical withdrawals, including and not limited to itching, anxiety, irritability, fidgeting, sleep talking, increased appetite, fatigue, and increased levels of psychopathy. The problem with writers is that we will draw ideas from anywhere. Hell, we'll be at our best friend's funeral and rip out our journal saying, damn, this would make for a good dark rom-comedy. The problem with writers is that we can see things that no one else can see. Like that hurt, longing subtle shade of blue and all the red that a man sees when in a rage at his spouse for cheating. The problem with writers is that we kill a crap ton of trees. See, journals, napkins, post-it notes, anything with a blank face that can capture our ideas will suffice. And the problem with writers is that we often have far too much appreciation for cats. The problem with writers is that everything means something. Everything. Like that weird way that you move your mouth when you eat, or that small scar at the end of your eyebrow, or that time that you started lying to us. The problem with writers is that we're also good liars. So we are even better at catching you in a lie. And we can lie to you and say that you didn't hurt us and you will never know. The problem with writers is that if you break our heart, we will scatter all the pieces across our pages. We will bleed words from the wounds you gave us, use our poems as bandages to try and stop the bleeding. The problem is that we will give you everything. We know a little about a lot of things, but once we learn, we won't be forgetting. The problem is we make things immortal. So no matter how much we may want you to die, you will always keep breathing in our pages. The problem with writers is that our nonfiction stories have far too good of memories.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I want you to write a book called The Problem with Writers.
Yeah.
And you'll never finish.
Never.
Alex. Alex.
Hello guys. If I can open it right away. Alright, let's see. So, I talk to the walls again, look at the sea of people. They surround with their blank stares. They greet me with their empty smiles. How can this love of masses feel like the love of so few? And we'll play it off so cool as we live just like a shadow. Fade into the back of it all. Now I watch myself fall. Fall into the end of it all. What if I force the end? There's nothing left to mend. No more spending it all just to fend. Do I have the power to say the end? How long until an end is dead? Now prepare for the oceans of tears. Observe all the good sentiments. When will the ill mask of care fade and reveal the detached kindness, ended to escape the deceitful madness? This game of pretend never ending. When will you see these flashy smiles are not mending? Because when you're gone, I'm still here. And your well-to-do rituals don't take away from the next kid's fear.
Wonderful, Alex. Shaloshin, I see you back there. You want to read, don't you? Get up here. Give it up for Chelsea.
Hey, Chelsea.
I know I gotta like twist and bend. Hey guys.
Yeah.
My name is Chelsea.
Yeah.
I haven't been here for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be back. And I've said this one before, but this is like a new crowd. I'm also gonna do it from memory, so we'll see how this goes. Okay. Where I can see who you are in 4.23 seconds. Your dynamic anamic code of 43, not the perfect fit of 42, is eroding you. They are coding you. Give the humans a timeline, call it Facebook. A live stream with partial delays and live gatherings framed in such a way. Snapchat and then the gram. And yes, I do mean Instagram. It's not quite as punctual as the grain, but it's all the same. Do you feel that schizophrenics are a bit less insane? And what a shame. For who are you in this decompressed technology on an interactive stage? Now trending social media, it's all the hashtag rave.
If you love theater, you have to talk to Chelsea. She is very, very good. She acts for Texas State.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, that's the end of the list, but if you are a writer and you want to read right now, you need to come up here. Any writers? Last call. Or it's the end of the first round.
Group photo.
Alright, so what we're going to do right now is don't leave. Testing, testing. Welcome back, everybody, to round two.
Yay!
Round two. Okay, I'll start us out with a poem.
Yeah.
And today's poem, who likes buzzards?
No.
Buzzards? I love buzzards.
Thankfully.
Alright, let's hear about buzzards.
They're legit.
He descends as a half-sun with his feathers unfurled. If the sun were to burn black tonight, reinvent night, if there were anything with the authority to do so. Claws confiding no friendship in death, except for the momentary grasp of meat, because it must. Eyes confiding nothing within a gaze so oblivial as to resurrect the land's own question of even being there. Colonies ablaze with slow communion as they agree on the direction of desire, if arguments had eyes, or contracts smell. Lesser food lies tarnished at the bottom of the well, and mothers asleep coddling wisdom in the ancient oak by the falls. No creature so sullen as that beneath its beak, when the bird sends all to its estuary pit, and his evening is made all but bleak.
Yeah.
Thom. Thom and Scott. Please come up.
Thanks, shake it. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that subject matter.
First recorded poem was by Debagana, daughter of Sargon I. She was allowed to write because she's a daughter, a piece of power. But long before things were committed to papyrus or to stone scratches on rock, people started pre-African with chant and response. The first sound that could be recognized as a poem was the very breath itself. So, from that point of yogic tantric breathing began the fact that dialectical is more powerful than fragmented recollections. When you leave this room tonight, you'll have a partial recollection of what occurred with a diverse community of explorers, metaphysical, spiritual, cerebral, all having different views of the camel inside the cave. But Plato cut it, and Socrates voluntarily died, so it's down to you, as the poets of the future. We all know that the past don't work. Scratches on rocks and Vikings who discovered America that wasn't lost. The indigenous people who had languages and dialects that we can't speak. Barely one tongue. And we forget our history and our future of our history because we don't want to know what's in the future. It looks a little bit precarious. And the only bridges we can send forth are words like this, like flowers and barrels of rifles. And they may be peaceful petitions, but will they convince the hawk and the eagle? Oh, poor little pigeons we are, strutting the earth. The only earth we got. Ain't no moon base, man. Well, they got a camera on Mars again. And it's transmitting images of life on other planets. We are those planets. And the life that lives within your art tonight is a little boat. In Japan, they put flowers and candles on the water. In Japan, they want peace after Hiroshima, Fukushima. And if I invoke the names of all the disasters, we'd be here all evening. But I wanted to invoke the flame of your heart to scratch the match of the fire that starts to make art in the middle of the battlefields. But sure enough, when you walk out in that street, they're not going to ask you, did you make art? They're not going to care. And that gives you complete freedom. You see, as long as poetry is invisible and poets don't exist, and they regard everything as archaeological evidence, they'll dig up the corpses of the dead and sell you Walt Whitman again. And you know quite well you've got more things to say than poor old Walt today. That flame needs another match. You see, you scratch your name on rock, you tag your graffiti of the soul, and you put it out there in a place that no one's seen yet. And this art gallery has no walls, it opens like a flower of your soul, and every petal is more than a word, as the sound you have heard from the first ululation to the howl of the wolf of the midnight evening. But you knew all this already. I want to hear you screaming.
We have everything to say tonight, Thom.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for the freedom of words. And the power to make them mean whatever we want them to mean. Summer.
Yay! Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this one from memory.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Learning to Swim. For something so certain, it's certainly so easy forgotten or misconstrued. There's a search for the answers you already know. The answers are within you, deep within your soul. But you gotta keep your head straight, mean what you say, and don't lose faith when the others complain. They don't see straight. The love that's around, do you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. So if you're ready to heal all your pain, then get ready to do it again. Keep on going. You're learning to swim. Do you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. We are the chosen, the fortunate who have the light deep within us that's burning so true. Let love surround you, guiding your path. Live in the moment, for this too shall pass. So, you gotta keep your heart clear. Abandon your fear and just be here. It don't matter where we are going. We're gonna sustain. Do you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. So if you're ready to heal all your pain, well, get ready to do it again. Keep on going. We're all learning to swim. Do you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. The water is rising. The current is swift. Decide where you are going, or else you will drift. And I will be swimming, building a raft for no particular reason, for this too shall pass. But then again, it's a nice day to swim.
Yeah!
There's a lot of healing going on tonight.
Yeah.
So when you get home tonight, I want you to ask yourself, who made me felt like I was healed? And I want you to talk to them again, especially people that you just meet tonight. We have next Magic Jack.
Magic Jack! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, there he is. I love you.
This poem is dedicated to people that I've known who are extremely shy, people who hide, and who find a way of life through the internet, and they come out and become another person on the internet that they could not possibly be in real life. This is called Cry from the Underworld. The human soul longs for a connection, validation of existence, crying out from the bowels of the internet, a voice, pathetic at first, then oddly interesting, like an animal hurt. The highway red with blood, its body not yet dead, yet begging for that final comfort. Like the myriad details that need seeing to, forms that need completed, yet that cry, hopeless and hopeful, agonizing, connecting with me, making me uncomfortable to my pain. See me, verify me, touch my soul before the eye of me is gone. Is what I have done understood, forgiven? Can you now release me? Am I free, trapped, or forgotten? The ham radio, the stereo TV, the keyboard, the PC, and words, thousands of them, and letters never ending. Redemption in that, blushing, infusing, transposing, sharing, rejoicing, exchanging recipes. Eat what I eat, satisfy me. An angry man confesses and then blames, charges, cries out. A hero steps up, a child questions. Out of the doorways and channels women watch and others fearfully avoid. Lonely graves, rooms, channels unexplored, signs on signposts left behind, the past reaching out to us, the future, caves of our relatives, wall papered in stone and charcoal, handprints, marks and symbols. See me, see us. This is what we did. Don't let us be forgotten.
Oh, yeah.
The people I love the most are the ones who encourage me to get out and become one with other people.
Yeah.
So that we don't become forgotten.
Yeah.
And we can share things that we love with each other. Like tonight, we're sharing our poetry. So next we have David Young.
Yep. You know, you are the power of poetry. I look at you and I see so many voices, all that power, and everybody here, a unique individual. In that power of all, combining all your faces is what poetry is about. Fruition of poetry. Poetic seeds do sprout forth vivid verse conception, trailblazing evolution of diverse poetry formations, where individual unique blossom forth emancipation, budding cognitive, independent, intuitive, petal conception. We are poets who ride Pegasus wind current, born in right rhyme, that to be a muse one never follows, but flows in time's signature, turning on a unique perspective aloft poems pulsating stellar time. Wherein stain stamped pages do elevate passages in literature. Ligament fingers clasped to bear the heart and soul bearing right poetry, clinging vows that grasp consonant words, ripping vibrant poems, vibrating lines that gasp to articulate nuances in phonic pulse poetics, levitating rhythmic enunciation adrift alliterated blossom balladics. Swaying unlike moonlight canvas, sailing starlight soft velvet voyages, phantom death deposits in the fruition of poetry being fully engaged. Wherein you spread your poetry wings that feather quill engagement by encouraging your poetry roots, by branching out right encouragement to develop your unique style poetry passage in the fruition of poetry. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Trev the Road Poet.
Yay, Trev! Yeah, my Trev!
When that, excuse me again. When I'm in Austin, I spend a lot of my time as a volunteer at Austin Wildlife Rescue. And I was there this morning and I was asked to show a new volunteer how to do things. And this is the poem about it. Austin Wildlife Rescue. I was asked to show another volunteer how things go. What she'd need for each animal feed, be it pottery or tin, which container it went in. And if stuck with a task, all she had to do was ask. And so she started and was chatting away, feeding a baby rat bunny, as in her hand it lay. Next to the possums, how to handle them right, so she didn't get a nasty bite. Then the birds, and how to feed them with bug, mealworms and puppy chow. She got stuck in, and I can tell she did the job, and she did it well. Thank you.
And so did you do it well, Trev. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are so happy to have some poets whose first time is tonight.
Yay!
And please give them a round of applause, all of them. One of these poets is Malia.
Hey. Just push it down. Yeah, mic mystery.
Alright, this poem is titled, The Ground Grows My Green. Drop me in the greenest space where the uncut grass clings to my body. This is my final attempt to erase your fingertips from my hips. Yet the evergreens have not succeeded in exterminating your touch from my skin. Thank you.
That was wonderful. That's the beauty of lasting impressions. And hopefully we all remember a lot tonight. The next we have Tyreeka. Did Tyreeka leave?
She is no longer with us.
That's so sad. Okay. Joe Riojas.
Yay, Joe.
Alright, thank you. So I'm gonna read a poem that's actually from one of my friends. He has a book. So this one's a little more about hope. You could be one day away from composing the world's greatest song, a short journey away from starting to right all your wrongs, 24 hours from making someone smile, or 1440 minutes away from walking your last mile. One day may separate you from rediscovering God and finding out that the devil is nothing more than a fraud. You can be right around the corner from buying your first home, or finding you've reached the last day you ever being alone. Tomorrow you could be the day you get the degree from school that nobody in your family ever has. You can immediately see the dream come true of both your mom and your dad. The day after today can show you how far you've come, but how far you still have to go. It can be the day you realize the things you thought you knew are really the things you don't know. You may have been depressed for a while, but when the sun rises, that could change. And the feeling of happiness can make depression seem foreign and strange. See, a lot can change quickly, like in 24 hours or less. A day can bring you a wife or a child, or just alleviate your stress. A new day can help you gain appreciation for what it is you have. It can help you move beyond what you lost or what you never had. In 24 hours, a young preacher can tell the world his dream. He can tell everyone about his vision of the future, no matter how bad the present may seem. We can put our mark on this world, leave a legacy that let it be known we truly had something to say. In spite of what's going on right now, keep faith and optimism, for you may just be one day away.
Yay! One day away.
What's your friend's name?
Yeah, what's your friend's
sorry.
name?
Fine. Okay, so my friend's name is Jacob Grovey, and hold on a minute. His book is called The Book of Jacob by Jacob Grovey. I have a little bio, but it's kind of long. It's actually in my email. Give me 1 second. So much. I have to jump through. So the bio he sent me is that Jacob G. Grovey began writing early in life at the age of 8. He first saw people actually valued his words. He was offered the opportunity to write for a magazine, but as great as the opportunity was, Jacob passed on it because he didn't want any pressure to be associated with his writing. As the years passed, he found himself writing less and less. Before he knew it, he had gone several years without writing anything. As he thought back to the time when he wrote daily, he soon became upset with himself for going so long without putting his thoughts onto paper. A while back, he vowed to never let it happen again. Now, he says, I promise you, the times that you'll catch me without some sort of notepad and pencil are going to be few and far between, because you never know when the inspiration will hit.
Thank you, Joe and Jacob. Next we have Cynthia.
Cynthia, you're beautiful. We love you.
I love you, Cynthia.
This is a draft. Another draft of something you've heard before if you come here often. But I just wanted to hear the changes. Its title is Again and Again and Again. Love, simple, the weight of a hand, a key turning a lock, the smell of sun-dried sheets, the color green. Love, the mixing of pancake batter, the washing and sorting of socks, the care to nurture a life into existence, winning a prize you cannot keep, an unimagined, fascinating story. Love, the will to sacrifice, a pleading, ignored prayer, the will to sacrifice in another's stead, a wish that will never come true, a test of tolerance. Love, silent patience, waiting, watching, open arms and outstretched hand, running to the mailbox every morning to discover the invitation has not arrived. Love, greedy selfishness, gleeful recipient of a larger share, playful delight in all things more, an insatiable, delicious indulgence, a tantrum of passion. Love, an unnamed secret, a cry hidden behind the heart, the connecting sound from unknown currents, the destruction of all things well deserved, as fragile as a belief in eternity.
Thank you, Cynthia. You had me at the mixing of pancake batter. JD.
Hey, JD.
This song is called Unslaved, like enslaved, unslaved. This is just one way written on the page, given so love stays, drifting like sun rays within the lives of us unslaved. So laid is a way paved for the brave in every place to stay. unslaved. So when it's shown one day, those in wanting control say, hey, for your safety today, we take guns away. This ain't no game. Then ways don't change. It's the same plays with just changed faces. No, in past days and ages, those cast away in cages by hoes and slaves to pay in wages, who chose to hate of many races. So laid is a way paid for the brave in every place to stay unslaved.
Yeah.
Thank you, JD. Scott, you're up.
Scott!
I want. And I don't care what that is, whether it's a confluence of thoughts or ideas or daily experiences, whether it's a semblance of a man standing before you that has some physical form. I want. And it may be that I'm totally out of my head and out of my mind, and all those times in those institutions was for good purpose and I stayed there. I want to be animated. I want to be alive so fully that all these dark embers of memories in my mind mix with yours. And we take those memories and we spread them in swaths of gorgeous blues and purples and colors that have no name, and paint the most beautiful picture we can possibly think of. I want that painting to end. So tomorrow, when we wake up, having forgotten anything that we experienced tonight, we have the fresh taste of a coffee or a croissant or the kiss of a lover's lips to start painting all over again. Somewhere, supposedly, there exists blood inside these hands. Somewhere, supposedly, there are bones which inhabit this form, the certainty of which is unknown. Am I not more real when your heartbeat beats with mine in this moment of throbbing, pulsing poetry and sound and vision? Is that not real life? Is it that I want to be uncaged from my physical form into light and sound and action that says I want to embrace the world so fully there is no me left? I don't want. I won. I won. You won. He, she, it won. Indivisible, distinct, the subtle little flick of a light that says everything exists entirely, distinctly, and yet simultaneously houses the entirety as well. Breath. I love y'all very, very much. I'm very thankful y'all giving me the time to do this. Someone just told me earlier that I have a great deal to be thankful for because I am fed, clothed, and housed by my parents. This is how I honor them. So thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Scott. Debagana.
There. Yay. Teach. Now you're free.
Okay, poets, don't miss my art in the main room. So I completed 10 years in this country last month. This land is mine. I was not born in this land. This land did not see the joy of my first steps, the first stumble in dust, the first time I smelled the breath of wet earth. This land never noticed when I first fell in love, the first sense of loss, and the first vision of death. No, not even that. But a tale dissolved in this land, simply, secretly. A handful of earth that I brought inside an envelope has been lost in these 10 years. Every day I feel a pull towards you and for you too. That is my belonging. That is my land. In this land, I drew 2 delightful, tiny feet blowing dust. I poured that earth inside a new envelope. Thank you.
What lands do you inhabit, and how many at once? And which ones make you feel like you belong the most? Thank you, Debagana. Next up is Victoria.
Hey! So, I've only read this poem like maybe 2 other times. For those of you who have already heard it, I apologize. But I've been kind of tweaking it a little, so I want to see how people feel about it. This is called Attention Deficit Disorder, and I haven't actually read it here yet, so that's good. Oh, by the way, it's done with sounds. It's supposed to kind of show you what it's like to have ADD, because I've been trying to explain that to people who don't have it, and it's really hard to explain because it's like you have no filter. And for people who have a filter, it's kind of hard to grasp that, so. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, crumble crunch, crumble crunch, crumble crunch, crumble crunch. So I was telling him earlier, blah, 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 swoosh, 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 swoosh. So he doesn't even know Sadie. Blah, 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 blah. Hello, did you hear what I just said? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, crumble crunch, crumble crunch, crumble crunch, crumble crunch. I'm sorry, no, can you repeat that? Swoosh, 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 till, 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 till. Pay attention, this is the 3rd time I've explained it to you. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. What is wrong with you today? I'm sorry, I believe the answer was because they were blind. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. No, that is so offensive. Why would she say that? Oh my god, anyway. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't mean it like that. I just forgot to mention how my train of thought got there. It just slam, boom, crush, slam, boom, crush, slam, boom, crush, slam, boom, crush. Hey, what did I just say? Thud, 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 thud. I'm sorry. I need you to repeat that. I blinked. I forgot. Squeak puff, squeak puff, squeak puff. I forgot to take my medicine this morning. I'm sorry. You really don't need medication to focus. I mean, you can totally just exercise and eat right. Tickety, 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 tickety. Oh my god, I swear I have ADD sometimes. I just can't focus. Blah, 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 blah. Why can't you remember this? Why can't you get this? Why can't you just understand? Kick, pop, snack, kick, pop, snack, kick, pop, snack. Kick, 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 kick. I'm sorry. My anxiety's acting up. I'm having trouble breathing. I just giggle, snort, kick, giggle, snort, kick, giggle, snort, kick, giggle, snort, kick. Hey, can you turn down your music? I can hear it coming from your headphones. Oh, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Hey, what is wrong with you today? I'm sorry, teacher. I know it must be such an inconvenience for you.
Thank you. That was amazing. Chelsea.
Hey guys again. What's up? Not much. I have a question for you. Do you want a long one or a short one? Or more so, do you want the phone or do you want the pad? Paper. The long one will be at the end then. Don't leave. If you do, it's okay. I cried myself to sleep on the night. No, I really don't. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. A week into my 22 years, I go on a journey between two eclipses. Flood myself in the wine of my kin and excite the night as the bass rumbles on, finding the one that will trip down the river. 22, it's giving me a shiver. Slowing down just to pick back up, baby girl, you're in luck. These times are for you, don't waste them. Dough for prime bucks.
Thank you, Chelsea. Up next, we have Lisa.
Hey, Lisa! Yes! Woo!
Every time this room is rank cursed. It is. Every time something's not
Okay.
She knows, she knows.
Like, where the university parks and
Yeah. Okay, I was here probably a couple of months ago, and this one was written with this group kind of in mind.
Your hair is pretty.
Oh, thank you. I better put these on though.
I feel that.
It's called Everybody Look.
Okay.
A mirror is a simple thing. It reflects what's been and been put in. Thought forms from an ancient time, embedded in the collective mind. Waves on the surface, a modern sign of the ego's selfish designs. Lost in a mirrored hall from here to eternity, faces leave traces in the fog on the glass. Drawing with your finger in hopes it would linger, and it does. But you look upon a face that will be replaced as lifetimes come and go and generations pass. Each age reflecting notions of base thoughts and emotions, plucked from the cosmic ocean, yet how do we fare? There's a new way to love passing just there, a swirling devotion, dive in if you dare. Break the glass at last to see what cannot see. No more false reflections from a sepia past, you looking after your own living glass. A reflection's the physical clue of a moment in time that's reflecting you. Reflect what you want to be what you want to see. Bring something new to add to the dew and the shimmering sea of we. With prophetic certainty of what can and should be, the vision couldn't be clearer. Only love should be reflected in the billiard-faced mirror.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lisa. Up next is a very good friend of mine. Please welcome to the mic, Moira.
Hello. I'm gonna change it up a little bit and sing a song.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Unhook it from the top.
Yeah, or from the top. Cool. And I guess it just goes around here. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if the trust left. Shall I do that?
Put it around first.
Turn it around first.
Or do you want mine?
Put it around first and then hook it.
I can use Elijah's, so no injury happens.
Just set it in the chair.
Yeah. Excitement. Yeah. All right. So, the song is going out to my grandfather, who recently passed. And the one thing that stuck out to me about him was when he laughed, it almost seemed like he was crying at the same time, and it was just this very deep kind of like appreciation of life that I heard through his laughter. All that I have is a river. The river is always my home. Lord, take me away, for I just cannot stay. I'll sink in my skin and my bones. The water sustains me without even trying. The water can't drown me. I'm done with my life. Please help me build a small boat, one that will ride on the flow, where the river runs deep and the larger fish creep. I'm glad of what keeps me afloat. All the water sustains me without even trying. The water can't drown me. I'm done with my life. Deeper the water I sail, and faster the current I'm in, that each night brings the stars, and the song in my heart is a tune for the journeyman's tale. The water sustains me without even trying. The water can't drown me. I'm done with my dying, and the land that I knew is a dream, and the light on the distance grows faint. So wide is my river, the horizon a sliver, the artist has run out of paint. Where the blue of the sea meets the sky, and the big yellow sun leads me home, I'm everywhere now. The wave is a vow to the wind of each breath. By and by, the water sustains me without even trying. The water can't drown me. I'm done with my dying. If I'm not mistaken, that is written by Laura Marling, of Johnny Flynn and Laura Marling, if y'all are familiar.
Your voice is gorgeous.
If you're not, look them up.
Thank you, Moira. Beautifully done. Next we have Kay.
Okay, just some brief background. This poem is inspired by my abnormal psychology teacher. He is like the greatest man on the face of the planet. He's awesome. And basically he was telling us about how a lot of doctors diagnose people with disorders that they only think they have, but they don't know they have, and they just throw pills at them, rather than offering them things like cognitive behavioral therapy, which actually helps people more a lot of times than pills. I mean, of course, there's some people who do have to take drugs, but most of the people who are diagnosed with disorders don't have to. And it's titled Lithium. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? 2. Nothing new or straight from the human condition of perpetual aches and pains. But something is off. I'm secluded, alone. I thought I might need someone to talk to. Well, based off your information, I'm sending you help. Take these pills. Don't bother talking to someone. It's expensive and won't help much anyway. Think of this as a donation to the poor pharmaceutical companies. Are there side effects, doctor? Oh, not at all. These pills simply inhibit your brain from reuptaking dopamine. You suffer from mild depression. This should make you happier. I never realized I had a disorder, doctor. I suppose I'll try this. Thank you. Hello again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? 4. There's just more than what I'm used to. I think it's the pills. I have aches and pains and migraines and low energy. It's growing more difficult to get through the day. I have difficulty focusing as well. My heart rate is faster than normal. General anxiety disorder, underlying your depression. Continue with medication, and there's another bottle, this one for the anxiety. Be sure to take both every day. Are there any side effects, doctor? Only a few, but don't fret, they aren't a threat. And remember, you're doing those struggling pharmaceutical companies a favor. As long as this helps me, doctor, I suppose I'll try this. Thank you. Back again. Hello, my friend. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? 6. Catharsis is something I'm going to need to practice. My aches and my pains haven't gone away. I'm short in breath. My heart hurts. I have high levels of stress. I can't concentrate, for all the noise in my head is too loud to think straight. I'm happy some days, I think. Wonderfully so. But some days I'm so deep down in the dark I can't detach myself from it. Depression, anxiety, and possible mood disorder. There's nothing better than this medication right here. Take these regularly with your other pills. It's some of the best shit we've got. But, doctor, this is lithium. Don't worry, we give this to children. It's completely safe. And only some of the side effects are irreversible and debilitating. I suppose, doctor, if this is for children, I'll take it. All right, then, my friend. Greetings again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? 8. I contemplate suicide every day, doctor. Help me. I'm scared, I can't sleep, and my pain has grown worse. I'm shaking and quaking, making poor decisions, and lack of sleep has made me begin to hear things, see things, feel things on my skin and my hair. And doctor, my refrigerator has been experiencing such terrible headaches, doctor. She's so really sad all the time. I've been crying for her every single day because she moans out loud and it hurts just so much. Make it end before the neurons in my brain start to combust. They can't stand how lonely they feel because they can't talk to my brain. Atypical antipsychotics for your obvious schizophrenia. Lithium to stabilize your mood. Serotonin reuptake inhibitors to help the anxiety. Selective serotonin, norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, and antidepressants to fight off your major depressive disorder. Anything, doctor, please. Just make it stop. Now I begin. Once again. My poor friend, okay, then on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? On a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, your pain. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10. 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I feel a 10. Again and again, can't comprehend. This wound is open, the pain is leaking out. My friend, help me, friend, help me, friend. Such a lonely human I am, my friend. Reaching the end and I can't withstand the strain from this pain. It's a 10. Help me, friend, please, please. Possible personality disorder. Take more drugs, kill the pain, you'll feel better. I promise, dear patient. They'll take you so far away, you'll no longer be able to see your suffering. Take these drugs, all of them, every day, and your troubles will dissolve in the chemicals, eaten away as they're no more. You'll be liberated, free. Just trust me and remember. Don't worry, doctor, I remember. I'm helping those poor pharmaceutical companies a favor. Just give me the drugs. I want this escape. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Thank you for checking in again. Now tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? 0. I don't feel anything.
Okay, that was terrifying and terrific. Yes. Wow. If you have any questions about the psychology terms, Brooke Bryson, she is open for questions. Okay, next we have Alex. Another first-time reader. And is there anyone else who would like to sign up?
Go here, Elijah. Really called him Elijah.
Alex, are you still here?
I can do it again. I don't remember if I did the first part.
Oh, okay. Give it up for Alex.
Okay. Crowd keeps growing. Oh, I guess I did sign up for that one.
It's the same list.
Same list.
We go in rounds.
Oh,
We're going to do it again and again and again.
Cool. Another one in here somewhere.
Just can't get enough. I just can't get enough.
This is it. Okay. So, let me sit in this time, freeze the good moments. This is what it is to be blessed, to be surrounded by beauty, to be surrounded by imperfection, to be with the ones we love. Oh, please surround me. Surround me in broken stories. Watch how rocks erode to show. We break together to build. The strength of our love built through life shouts. Now let us come together and embrace a broken brother. Let us show our bond to the face of let us show our bond to the face of struggle. In the menacing face of struggle, we have the joy of our bond.
Nicky Man.
Oh, Nicky Man.
Come on up, Nicky Man.
Hey! What's that?
Welcome back.
Hey, Tyrea.
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just wrote this like a couple of minutes ago, so it's
Oh yeah. But it's awesome.
it's pretty raw, kind of stinky too.
Inside. I like stinky. Like good cheese.
All right.
Like good cheese.
John dropped his wagon on the ocean. He soon let out a horrendous scream that couldn't be heard from the naked ear. After that, he went to the barber shop to up his cool. One trim later, and he was left disappointed by the results. Some 2 seconds later, he was robbed and never heard from again. Another goon gone not soon enough.
Yessie, you are next. Yessie. Yeah, Yessie.
Yeah, she's well.
Okay,
I
so
can read it for her.
Yessie is an absolutely gorgeous human being, whether or not she believes it.
Yes, she
she
is.
never will,
She's
but
gorgeous.
she is.
Amazing. Oh,
That's okay. And she has never shared her poetry before, and she's still hesitant to. So
Like,
I said that I would read it for her because people need to hear these words because they're fantastic.
Oh wait, you should tell them, like, literally we are the first people to have read her poetry, and it literally happened 2 seconds ago.
And don't you say you usually burn your poetry afterwards?
Yeah,
So like this is so incredibly ephemeral. Like anyway, okay.
So you guys are special. Feel special.
Special education.
Oh, by the way, it's called Thoughts About a Wild Girl. She was beautiful like the sunrise and fall, setting the leaves on fire as the light goes through their skin. Her hair so perfectly imperfect, tangled like jellyfish dancing in her head, as they do in the sea, and I immediately wonder what her life may be. What could she be thinking? Did she even notice me? And if she did, what did she think? It's stupid to think that she thought the same of me, but I still did. I mean, if we don't have dreams or hope, what would the purpose in life be? Last spring, I told myself that love was stupid and there was no love for me, but it's the moments like that that make me think twice about what love could be.
Yessie, keep on writing. Keep on writing. And bring it back to us. The next time we want to hear your voice, okay? Please.
Everyone's gonna go.
Noellia.
Oh, hi.
Noellia. Did I say it right?
Yes, thank you.
Hello. Hi. What's happening? I've been waiting for I missed you guys.
I still like your hair.
Thank you. I like your hair. So I'm actually reading this poem because if somebody left person who was supposed to come tonight but didn't, and I'm actually glad she didn't. Because this poem is about her. List of different reasons why I can't tell you that the things that I feel are real because in my mind they are. Number 1, you don't drink beer and I do. We don't bond over social structures and therefore opposites attract and I love that. Number 2, you wear sandals all the damn time and I don't. And this is totally okay because I love that. Number 3, your hair is straight. It's curly, messy, frustrated, happy, speaks songs of innocence and mine is sometimes okay because I love that. No, I like it. A lot. 4, when you speak, it's like stained glass in a church, and I don't go to churches very often, or at all, so when I do, it's to appreciate its beauty. Number 5, I'm at a bar mistaken for a coffee shop right now, and all I can think about is how soft your hands are when they forcibly hold mine. Number 6, don't hold my hands anymore, because we both know that they aren't each other's to hold. Number 7, when you announce that you are the yin to my yang, there is a feeling of satisfaction. It's not, oh, that's cool to acknowledge, or nice. It's fucking shit, she's right about the 4th Star Wars being the best because George Lucas put every bit of his soul into it. Number 8, when you look into my eyes, I don't look into yours in the realistic fear of losing myself in them. I can't look at you because of fear of telling every secret that I have so far struggled to hide. Number 9, looking at you is compared to standing in front of a cliche sunset and then wondering how I was ever so blind to ignore it. Number 10, you've tried everything and nothing at all. Number 11, Journey's one of your favorite bands and you break down and dance to every song we hear in the car, and that's okay because I love it. 12, you break me. 13, this poem. 14, the fact that you appreciate small bugs and the good left and bad people and the positivity and my negativity. 15, the fact that I can't tell you that red can be blue and that's okay. 16, the fact that things can never be the same if I read this out loud.
Beautiful, Noellia. With the infinite number of people we have here right now and the infinite number of opposites, things get a little crazy. So I encourage you, meet someone new tonight and share your dearest words. And next we have Hannah Grace.
Wrote it today, so you're hearing it for the first time.
Yeah. Fresh meat.
It's called Too Much to Bear. I want to love a bear. I want something to show for it. I want to be left fat and allergy-proof from all the honey you drown me in when we're happy. I want to be tangled up, warm, and hibernating against each other for months, living off of social interactions we stored up in preparation for this. I want to understand what it's like to protect and be protected with teeth and claws like that. I want to know why someone first thought up a teddy bear and why children clutch them so fiercely. I want to be held so warmly I forget I was ever cold. And then, when you're done loving me raw and bear hugging me in half, when it's over, I want to be mauled. I don't want the quiet, irritating discomfort of a heart mishandled. I don't want people to roll their eyes by the pain I swear I feel but they can't see, feeling not quite right but not knowing what's wrong. No, I want to make the news. I want your fingers to dig into me so far that when you leave you can see my organs. I want people to retch with how inadequate the word heartbreak makes them feel when they see what's become of me. I want people to be so confused by the carnage you leave behind that they won't know exactly how I'm supposed to be put back together. So when I finally seem to be whole again, I won't find the person you fell in love with in the mirror. No one will compare me to what I was before or after my murderous teddy bear. I can't remind people of the past I don't resemble anymore.
Thank you. Fernando.
I hope this isn't too depressing or anything. Did you ever hope for something more than anything else? All the while knowing that somewhere in the back of your mind you were too young to hope for anything in this world while having a fair chance to get it. How did you respond? Did you bury yourself in books?
Did you take every chance to leave home even for just a few hours, to take in as much as you could? Surely you knew you would most likely become just another voice in the wind. At best, a glimmer of inspiration for another, luckier youth than yourself that might achieve his wildest dreams. But you kept trying, striding, leaping for just another inch. Could a machine do the same? Could it, being miles above you on that same leap, believe that it would reach the other side after calculating, knowing that it wouldn't? Is tragedy the only thing that separates what people are capable of from a machine's capability? Or would its creator take this into account and knowingly make this machine to leap forward anyway? Can we reduce tragic inspiration, the bleak endeavor and ultimate redeeming quality of mankind, to an equation? And if this equation is real and this machine leaps forward as his creator is swallowed down into the earth at this moment, wouldn't its survival not also characterize the bleakest, ultimate form of our own redemption? For in our hour of doom, we will realize that the earth will no longer accept us as its hosts, but in creating this machine, the planet would also no longer suffer with its new caretakers. For being a creation of sheer reason and knowledge, the ultimate machine would surely not destroy the environment in which it exists, unless it knew how to exist without said environment, a feat that man is yet to achieve, and one that would characterize a perpetuation of life without the chanced randomness and sustenance of our universe, interestingly enough. But would the machine even care if it reached the other side? Or would it forget its creators? This is the real horror of man's ability to create something that is unlike himself. The idea that a tragic endeavor, although fulfilled, will be forgotten and therefore meaningless.
Wow, great, Fernando. Next we have Aaron.
To show off the very brand new tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Yay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I love you.
I want to be loved. Doesn't everyone? It's been written about in stories as old as time itself and all those novels I used to read until 3 a.m. But the truth is, I'm battered and I am bruised. My body holds scars that are worth 1,000 tear-streaked words. I hold baggage that someone twice my age would struggle to carry. Life isn't pretty, but there's beauty to be found in every struggle. My love story isn't and never has been one to be read until 3 a.m. My Prince Charmings could be compared to the evil sorcerers of those stories as old as time. But even then I tell myself time and time again, this one is different. This is the one that loves me. Me with my scars, me with my baggage that is trying to break my back. As long as I have this one, the one that sees my war stories are victories, that my life can be beautiful. I am beautiful. Then maybe I can turn it all around. My scars will fade into distant memories surrounded by a fog created by this love. My baggage will feel lighter from 2 hands instead of 1. My bruises will start to fade away and maybe I'll feel whole again. But then, that never happens. My prince's shining armor starts to dull. My stories that I told to lighten my burdens start to be thrown back in my face. My scars reopen and become as fresh and as painful as the day I got them. My baggage becomes heavier than ever for my muscles that have grown used to sharing that weight. But still, I want to be loved. Next time will be different.
Lovely, Aaron. And we have Mike.
What?
Mike!
So I'm going to do several, but they're real short, so don't worry. This one's called For Harvester Blood. A star collapsing announces its gravity and disturbs the slumbering elements, draws them close to mourn with miracles and cataclysms. And so it was one night in late September, when the moon loomed larger than before or since, evincing its concern in beams of pink and orange, in love with you and us. Portending a fire or promising a flood, I could not then know why it hung so low, whether for harvest or for blood. Next one is called Heptagrams. I was obsessed with rendering you before I ever recognized you, and always with flaws, yet by none of these lessons was I deterred. And spurred by arrogance to recreate that dim impression innate, I time and again scaled the 7 serrated spokes, skinning myself and getting nowhere as the networks of slopes eternally converged into harsh points that were neither summits nor valleys, but approximations of the treacherous and elusive anatomy of perfection. This one is duplicity. When you make your own hell, there are 2 of you. The prisoner is content to sleep the years away on a glowing gridiron, now and then turning to stoke the flames of self-hate. And the warden is prostrate but always awake, offering the key from the other side of the gate. The prisoner never dies, but he never lives. And the warden must watch helplessly. The custodian of key he cannot use, while the prisoner's shape slowly deranges. From his double, himself he estranges. Alright, we're halfway through. Catatonia. These days the engine is silent, but new scenes still scroll past the train's windows in a slow motion blur, while within all that is are those things that were, and I have a lifetime past to this plotless film unfolding, frame by painful frame before my wide, unblinking, tireless eyes. But in moments rare I am coaxed to consciousness and almost care, when in 4 dimensions I am reminded of animation by a familiar sound, a bell from a distant station. This one is 1519 Stark Avenue, which, if y'all don't know, is Carson McCullers' childhood home's address. My mind merges with hers as the separate planes converge, the scene awash in the sunset's amber resin. Children playing in every front yard, horribly and beautifully oblivious to my communion with the presence emanating from the house, with dark windows and locked doors. To perpetual adolescence, making peace with the callous machinations of space and time. Okay. Last one is called athazagoraphobia, which is a psychological term for fear of forgetting or fear of being forgotten. Time and memory are unforgiving, and no one listens to the living. But oh, what weight our words assume when pass we through this mortal flu. Yet truly those suspended syllables are but vapor trails, only adding to our questions, refusing to tell tales. And as statements into fragments fade, so identity to artifact degrades. Irregularly shaped and inexact, a cloud of detritus that does not telegraph the path of phantom matter beyond the vanishing point.
Mike, what was the name of that last poem?
It's a long word. Athazagoraphobia.
Athazagoraphobia. And I was afraid I would forget that, which I will forget that. Okay, so is there anyone else who would like to read? Last call, second round. First time poets. Looks like everyone's right here. Okay, please come back for round 3.
Yeah, they do. They have very artistic looks now.
Poets, writers, people with voices and words, lovely faces. Welcome to round 3. Thank you for coming back, and we'll have some more people trickling in.
Trickle.
I'll start us out, alright? This is called Lady of Gravity. Lady of Gravity tugs at my veins with a puppeteer precision and the liberty of some sun-swayed lake. Yes, I am free to die, but death costs a lifetime, and the shores of tomorrow spray sand in my eyes, just so I will swim. There is dancing in the water, too, but with more purpose. She pulls harder on my bloodlines, so that a spillage rips forth and onto the white cap, and all of a sudden we bask in a frothy pink sunset while the excess blood hangs as the underbelly of a wolf, her dinner dried and my captor adorned with the light of me. Lady of Gravity, I am off to see my dying. Come with me, and I will share the moon.
Oh, yeah. Where's Great Scott?
Next we have Thom.
Baby, that's the way I like thank Mama. Someone's got to say it, might as well be me. You don't have to believe a thing. We are provisional republics of the unknown, semi-independent, quasi-autonomous, and in formation. I don't mean flying geese formation, I mean the wild geese formation of Mary Oliver. Someone needs to say the holy words of Thomas Hardy. Someone needs to say Rumi, Hassan, Layla, Mirabai. Someone has to tap you on the shoulder and tell you about Mullah Nasruddin, because they will not tell you in school. Outside the cage, the wild birds laugh. The ones who rely upon the handouts. The ones who sit inside, fat and gold. But you can't eat gold, can you? Unless you're Japanese. Gold flakes on rice, they do. Rich people. And Kanye West. Gold Trump. Gold toilets. With a gold poop. But you are not that. Someone has to tell you about the wild ones. The bison who were slaughtered because they were wild. The indigenous the same. On the spot there may have been massacres we don't know, and the vibrations live. Someone has to tell you that you're part of everyone in this room. And the only part you're going to take with you is what you will remember. It's just a leaf in a storm. Someone has to tap you on the shoulder and give you the deepest secrets, because unless they do, we can just be dreaming through this life in someone else's life. Life's passed down secondhand like orders from the man. You're not a corporation. A corporation is not a human being. And the law is made for the protection of the people, even when the people in the prisons look a lot like you and me. Someone has to say it to you. The only authority that's truth is the truth you carry inside you. You can tap on the missiles and say you want peace, but unless you are at peace, it means nothing. Hollow words are hollow weapons. Someone has to say that a bomb is a failed poem and a gun is a failed song. But the birds still sing, no matter how weird the trees turn. And the roots in the soil go deep, deep subterranean stories. The water is in love with the trees, and the trees are in chemical love with the sky. And of course that may not continue indefinitely, but it's a beautiful story. And someone has to weave stories. And you are the weavers of stories, and you are the dreamers of the future. And you carry this, and you will forget this. But then again, isn't everything made to be forgotten? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thom. We are the weavers of stories, and we're the believers of stories. And next we have Summer.
Summer!
Okay, so I know the piece that I want to do.
Yeah.
I just need to know, do y'all want me to recite it, a cappella it, or perform it with the guitar?
Oh, acapella.
Done deal. Been working on this theory. Everyone's crazy, and they don't see me, but that don't faze me anymore. So if you're ready, maybe you'll hear me and know you're crazy. It's true, but that's not scary anymore. People, it's happening. This world is collapsing. So if all you're doing is breathing and screwing things up, all you need is love. So I am human. That's what I'm doing right now. And I've been screwing things up, just screwing around. All I need is love.
Yeah.
Love. All I need is love. All I need is love. love, love, all you need is love. Love, all we need is love. All we need is love, love, love. Love is all we need.
Magic Jack.
Magic Jack, whoa!
Magic Jack!
Yeah.
I'm on my way.
That's a subtle
On my way.
segue.
On my way. It's only the Austin Angels.
Austin Angels. Austin Angels. I like this. Kelany.
On my way.
Victoria. Sing it on my way.
Oh, wait, oh, he's
wakey, wakey.
Kelany, that's us.
Whoa, worky, work.
Sorry, she just agreed to read a poem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
Excellent.
You're adorable.
It's true.
She's so cute. She's precious.
Now this is a poem about being there for someone else when they need you. Or maybe someone was there for you when you needed someone. When you need a place to run away, you just gotta say, I'm on my way. When you need a place to hide away, you just gotta say, I'm on my way. On my way, on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way. On my way, on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way. On my way, on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way, yeah. Your little song you got to say. Rest your heart, rest your weary heart. Take all the time you need, all the time you want. Rest your heart, rest your weary heart. It's gonna be alright, it's gonna be just fine. Oh yeah, yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh. Ooh, 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 oh. When a rain cloud breaks out over you, you know there's some shelter here. You know what to do. When times get tough and they will someday, call me right away. Call me right away. You know what to say. You know what to say. On my way, on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way, yeah. On my way, on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way, yeah. Hear that song you got to say. I was looking for the audio guy. Okay. right, thank you very much. I love you.
Love the harmonies, Austin Angels. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, David Young.
So, I got terminated for poetry.
Yay.
And so then I decided to let my hair grow longer, and people said I looked like $100 bill. So,
Hey, you look like $1 million.
yeah. Well, anyway, that started the Ben Franklin persona. And at times, I tell you what, I'm more Ben Franklin than I am David Young. And I've kind of answered to it. But 2 years ago, on Christmas, my godchild gave me this book here, The Poetic Musings of the Franklin Doubleganger. And inside, he's got pictures and my poetry. And really fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's really beautiful.
Cabin fever. Stripped barren, a terse weather whipped out its lashing tongue. The acidity frothed upon a frenzy abrasion, eating away any civility. Naked was the chill that bore the soul, cold upon the mountain quill. A reverberating skeletal frame groaned under its heavy mental strain. A weight gravity that reigns forlorn, the bare wilderness torn asunder. Nail the fear scarring shadows that echo ghostly wrath nevermore. Lost souls upon graven tales that turn blood frigid in rigid hibernation. Quicksand grains of reflective possession crumble in lonely isolation. Overcast cerebral gray fog hangs low to feel blank stares, solitary wounds. Hemisphere voids wearing hollow sockets tear upon weathered or knots. Twist taunt upon a tick-tock clock mainspring awaiting spring renewal. Thunder, oh thunder, the elocution of writers' blocks in four-wall prisons. Kneel in baptismal rains, washing anew, fountain spring of poetic youth. Burn the pyre of winter-graven words of stale air. Open the coffin doors, awake the poet on the stepping stone stands adrift, dawning pastel livid images. Vivid characters flow free through bare footprints on seashore ties. Sail the wind's currents of lines levitating valves of enlightened character, creating medicinal cleansing of harmonic heartbeats, resonance, a light revival. Shatter cabin fevers, skeletal conformity, skinny dip your birthday suit in a declaration of independence, drifting free forevermore.
That's a beautiful thing for your son to do for you. I just hope my son reads my poetry. All right, we have Trev, the road poet.
Yeah, road poet.
Thank you. This is what I've actually written today, and there was a film once called Sergeant's 3. Well, I travel with two other poets, those two there, so we're called the Poets 3. Open mic at Nature's Treasures done, only a few of us, but it was fun. The Poets 3 became 2 and 1. Me to the library, an essential part of my role. Catch up on what's going on back home. Thom and Ben gonna take a break. Meet up later at Thom's, Our Intent, and Poets 3 go to their next event. With more poetry to read at San Marcos and Wake the Dead. Poets 3 ready, equipment stowed. Now time to hit the road. Thom in the back while I drive, and Ben navigates us to the I-35. Then we're on it, southward bound. Ben still navigating on the venues found. Arrive early, set up, rest up. Ease the day's strife before we try to bring the dead back to life. And Thom set up the recorder to record the event, to show on YouTube the great event. Record the act all night long, but somehow he got it wrong.
What? I didn't get that line.
Put it back to front, so it's perfect aplomb.
That's true.
If no one had noticed, we would have had 2 hours of Thom. Thank you.
I told you should have drove up with me.
How right you are.
Gee, I wish I was there now. Sounds like a great time. All right, next we have Malia.
Yep.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Alrighty, this poem is titled Waterways. We as curious people come for a view of the constant ripple of the water to give us the consistency we seek in our everyday lives. The shimmering and mystical reflection we see with our eyes give us notice to the natures the world has to offer. If we gaze too closely, we may lose sight of the reflection and only see skin deep. Sometimes we seek the stillness of this body to reach a hand in for the sense of the stillness. The wetness can be like needles, causing redness that is itching to our skin. Out of the coldness or nourishing to your tan figure like on a warm day. Now you are the brave one who has gotten this close. To now have the stream begin to tickle your ear. Like a light touch from your hair, or even lighter to the touch of your mother's figure. Across your newborn face, you now understand gentleness. The water would hear you coming and ask you, what is your purpose here? But we, as curious humans, cannot give the water a legitimate answer, but still respond with, I thought you might tell me what my purpose is here. The waters admit, many think I have the answers, but the answers are in you. The waters start to feel like our mother, who can't be read like a book, but she is here to be a home for those who cannot breathe outside of her. There are many bodies of water out there just like her. It would be nice to have one of my own. Maybe I will ask the rain to give me a river.
Oh yeah, beautiful,
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, we have Joe Riojas.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so this one I've been thinking of this whole time. It's all in my head, so it might not go well, but
Yes, it will. Going from. Woo!
okay.
Still like your hat.
Thank you. I'm gonna keep my eyes closed for this one. It may get a little dark, but I promise there's a good ending, or a happier ending. We hold on to hope, but hope for what? Hope for the end. Hope for the pain to end. We built the fire with this hope. We built the fire out of pain. We built walls so high that you can barely see the flames. That's our passion. We've hid it from the world for so long. We built so much behind those walls. There's trees here. There's a home. There's this fire we built all alone. And you see the composure of the walls, built so high, so great, so grand, something to see. But behind those walls you don't see the rage that's built that fire that's burned so deep inside. And we found our way out of those walls, to follow the nymphs, to hear those siren songs, We saw your smile and the fire it held, and we wanted to follow it. And we went so far away from those walls, so far because we didn't want you to see, that we scratched the inside of those walls, trying to find our way out. We've lost you because you were never really a fire, but more a firefly, constantly moving, disappearing for instances, and coming back just for a glimpse. We're lost outside these walls. It's cold out here. There's no fire, just the one we've known behind those walls. But we no longer want to long for that fire of anger and pain. Maybe it's time to build a new fire out of hope. Hope for happiness. A fire built by our own smile. We create the passion that's different than pain. A passion that grows in flame. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, for sharing your new, fresh poetry.
Yeah.
And next, we have JD.
Yay!
Thank y'all. This song is called "The Face of Hate." It's when a person is a toughie, when surrounded by all his buddies, trying innocent blood to spill, crying and begging to steer the wheel. But when not surrounded by friends, his manhood and faith act ends. You see the face of hate. I have learned the place, observed in coward ways, heard in power plays, plan to end the days of love and nature's ways. You see the face of hate. I have learned to hate. We'll look it back face to face, on the track to live my fate, securing what I know is right, enforcing what the darkness brings light. The time has come, I know it's begun. Ain't no running from knowledge and insight, ain't no hiding from wisdom in this light. The time is right to defuse crumbling bombs. The time is right to excuse me, the phase away. The time is right to defuse. Excuse me. It's been a long time, y'all. I'm sorry. The phase. I'm gonna go through the chorus again. This song is meant to shatter love that tries to bind and bring laughter to those who are crying, and a future for those who are dying by the light that marijuana's shining into the face of hate, blinding with truth, the face of hate. This is our fought some lyrics. She has, you know.
Thank you, JD. Scott.
Hey.
let word go out. Let word go out that some night, the coming week, you'll let that angel that comes all of us off for the day when we work, tell her or him, go on your way for a while, babe. I'll be okay. There's places that need you more than me right now. Find your way to that dark cell in that prison over there. Whether it be a physical one or the one that man's mind thinks, God damn, I hate my wife. Or God damn, I hate my husband. Or why do the kids scream so much? Or please, just go away and leave me the fuck alone. I can do without a poem tonight. If you'll find your way into her heart or his heart and say, you know, instead, I think I'll write a poem instead of shed a tear. And I might even have them cry on the page if it must, because it's been my lesson in coming open mics all these years that poetry does nothing more than make you a better person. I've never met a mean poet. So, Mrs., Mr., whatever the hell you are, take it off for the night. I'll be okay without you. Is there some cell and some brain somewhere that needs you more than I do? We'll be okay without you for a while. Sing with them songs of hope and peace and love. Hope and peace and love. Hope and peace and love. Sing them songs about things being good, not bad. Just give them the strength to raise their hand on that little pad on their desk. Write it down. Blackest of ink if it must be, but someday they'll come out of it. Maybe make this wish for somebody else. Because I know you got a lot of work to do. There are 30, 40 poets in this room tonight, and you're keeping them all busy writing down what they have to say. Because I've known the prison cell, the hate of a wife, and the anger at a kid. And God knows I do not want to go back there. So sing a few bars to them if you would. It can rhyme or it doesn't even have to be understood. Just have them write it down. Have them hold the hand back from the wound and pick up a pen instead. This one's for you. Wherever you may be, you're in our mind right now, and we only want you to see the light of tomorrow or something good. Peace.
Victoria, you're next.
Yay, Victoria! Tall Victoria!
No, can you do that? Which one?
The book.
The book? Okay.
Yeah.
The book is always right.
The book is it's in the book.
Book's better. So, big news, guys.
Yeah.
I got a poem officially published.
Whoa!
Super excited about it. So I'm gonna read from the book that's actually published in. The book. I'm super proud of that. And this is basically about my best friend in high school. We both struggled with depression, And she told me, before I wrote this poem, she told me one night, she goes, "Hey Victoria, I have something I need to tell you." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "You know, no matter how dark it is, like, and whenever I feel really hopeless, you seem to be able to be like the only person that can just grab me and pull me out of it." And I got kind of teary-eyed because she had no idea that she had done the same thing for me, just sitting and listening to my stupid jokes in high school. So this is called Dear Best Friend, Did You Know? I wondered if you realized, if you caught it, that flicker of a second. Did you see it? When you laughed, right there. Do you see it? That flash of joyful almost mist in my eyes. Did you realize that laugh that brought you up was the oxygen tank to the sinking ship that has always been my life? Did you realize when I was saving you, you unknowingly were saving me?
Congratulations on getting published.
Thank you.
All right, we have next Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Boom. Popping out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm happy y'all stayed for this absurdly long one.
We love absurdly long.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Actually, this is I was going through like the depths of my phone, and I was like, you know what? This one that I'm about to read to y'all, I've combined it with another one that I recently kind of wrote, so I added onto it a little bit. So it's a little tweak, a little different. I wrote this about 2 years ago, and the piece before this one is what really got me into just free writing and all that jazz. Yeah. So, and this one actually has a title. It's called Baby and Coke Cans and Pyramid Mines. Oh yeah. Napoleon walked out of the pyramids, they say. A shell-shocked look upon his face, wilderness overgrown with fear etched in his brow, the hollows of his cheek and disconnected eyes. They asked, he wouldn't say. No one would believe me. I would. I'd listen and breathe in his words. Does that make me gullible because I want to believe in the tall tales rather than the short ones? Would he think I was just amused and not entranced because when I dance, I would rather dance with someone than on someone? I ask so many questions and can't reply with answers, suck it all in, but I can't filter it out. I wish someone would ramble with me, ramble and rant and pitch in references, even if neither of us know them. If babies are born in beer glasses in Australia, does that mean that they come in Coke cans in America? Well, embryo flavoring in Pepsi. Dr. Pepper is owned by Pepsi. In Texas, we say Coke, but we mean Dr. Pepper. So yes, Mary, babies are placed in Coke cans in America. I wish that Max was my pen pal. I wish that more people would write letters. And letters, the words overtake your mouth and try to organize your mind, but your mind is too deep and the ocean is too, but your mind is too wide and the ocean is too deep. Glitch mob, big gigantic, Zed's dead. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. And I listen to him on their coffee break, my tea time. You drink the sea, I'll swallow the ocean. What happens when there is no more sea? Just wastelands of never-ending time. A saxophone plays and I lose my mind. Clockwork and his surge. Will the government actually try the purge? Man, I'd be down. Fight or flight, maximum ride, treat cheap girls, perfume trails, stealth around as we continue to down the price of living. No DCI, I don't want to sell my plasma anymore. Yes, doctor. I pulled my back crawling out of a car last night. Did you know that there's a song called Holding Someone's Hair Back? Well, yes, I do, sweet friend of mine. Now I'll hold yours as you hang out the window. Hey, you looking for a white girl? Nah, man. But holler if you find Lucy. Fuck Molly. I like her twin Mandy. Capsule or tab, capital and tab. See, I'm bad for you. Are you ever going to miss me? If you will let me. Through this life, I've loved the musicians and the artists, both ranges of souls too complex to travel. The musician will sing and play until you unravel. The artist will make you their muse. Just to trap you in love that they abuse, place you on a pedestal, fill you up with dope that is medical, both make you fly so high, both make performances from when you cry. One so young that they are predestined to die. The other just wants to get you high. And the performer, the writer, the creator of this world, the producer of these effects cannot reject the memories that have implanted their ghostly clutches around your soul. I'm wishing back for the times of when you were whole. I want to be an eagle wolf every night of my life. I want to roam around Black Rock City, breathe smoke, destroy something beautiful. I want to stop time, but fast forward now. Go back to then and live in the now. I write to get this out, but more comes from nowhere, and it's not the style that I want, but it's what I'll get. Strongest taste, loudest drop, head is filled with thought unlocked. I already lost my father. I don't need another leader. I need an equal. Challenge me, define me, teach me something new, make me crawl to you, eat my heart out, devour me whole. I want to taste you. Careful, I do bite and scratch. Will you pull my hair back, make my neck snap, bite me hard, make me feel you. I'll press my presence into you, lay across your chest, sigh into your ear. Wandering fingers create devious trails. Gentle strokes across the plains of skin, innocent caressing, wake up in feeling. My mind is a pyramid. Triangles are my favorite shapes. I'm wondering what Napoleon would say.
I want to be an eagle wolf too. Take me with you.
Yeah.
Lisa. Yay.
Lisa. Yeah.
Alright, we'll stay on the theme of love or something like it. This one's called You and Me. What do I confide? We mirrored side by side. I'd like you to stay. Put down your mirror, but don't look away. Let reflections be broken so that all that's unspoken passes freely between you and me. In mirror my name, our pain is the same. We follow a fear or share a tear. Neurons firing while we're smiling. Invisible senses connecting lines, one thought, two minds at a time. In a mirrored room, the reflection resides. A ripple in the silver wind, a memory of mine, reverberating in time. Mirroring truth, echoing the divine. And what a surprise as I dance in your eyes. There's a kind of reminder of what I should be. Longing for connection, you are love's reflection. Now I want to see you in me.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Checking to see if people are still here.
Yeah.
We have Kay, smiley face.
So I actually got inspired for this poem one day when I was headed to the bus, and I was afraid that I was going to miss the bus despite the fact that they come like every 5 minutes. So I was rushed, I was like booking it, right? And there was a person behind me and the door shut on their face, and I didn't think about it until I sat down and realized, I was like, God, like I'm so obsessed with getting places at a certain time that I'm not thinking about other people. So I wrote this poem about that and I'm trying to work on that. And it's called Service to Rolex. He woke up at 6, slipped on his shoes, put on his blazer and turned on the news. He parted his hair, combed it to the right, brushed his white teeth, and then up and took flight. Silver shone his Rolex watch, its subjective face gleaming. Its hands never ceased their ticking, so forward moved the Rolex watch. The man got on the bus at 7 a.m. on the dot, as did a woman with a broken leg who tried to find a spot. But all the seats were taken, so she stood the whole way there. The man had no time to give up his seat. It's not that he didn't care. It's just that his watch kept ticking. It refused to wait for anything, so he held on to his seating, listening to that immortal ticking. He arrived at 7:30, just in time for breakfast.
On the street sat a starving beggar. He'd seen him in the past. He thought about the beggar, considered buying him food, but instead he simply dismissed him. Not that he wasn't in the mood. You see, he simply didn't have the time. His Rolex watch simply didn't wait. Someone else will feed the beggar, he'd anticipate. He simply didn't have the time. At 7:45, he walked through a door, not looking behind him. The door slammed closed on the person behind him, but he never, ever looked behind him. The only face he saw was the one on his Rolex, the only face that could test his attention. And then at 7:59, he fell, heaving and clutching his heart. He cried, called out, looked around, but no one would acknowledge his hurt. Silvers shun their Rolex watches, their careless faces gleaming, and the people just kept on walking, servants to their Rolex watches.
Incredible, thank you, Kate. Alex, are you still here? Alex, yay!
So this is something I wrote for an assignment in school actually, and it was just taking your work and putting rhythm to it, making it alive, so I just had fun with it. So punch that clock yet again, cut, chop, flip, flop, let's get to cooking again. Listen to the sizzle, listen to that pop, the noodles speak as they are ready. Don't you hear the music in the shop? Tick tock goes the beat of the knife. Guide the cutting force in hand, all in the movement of a wrist. Swoosh goes the power of the washer as its power roars to waken inside. We are the conductors controlling the flow. Now let's go and put on a good show. My art is now for your intake. Eat slow as the flavors explode. The sweetness rushing to your mouth. Your body filled with the work of my hands.
All right.
Thank you, Alex. Nikki Man? Nikki Man!
Nikki Man,
Okay.
So I'm just like, just soaking it all in.
It's all good.
Because I'm always like that. No, just.
It's nice, doesn't it?
Okay, ready. They try to reinforce me back to the darkened days, but the miles I put on my soul is making me want to fight it off and stay loyal to the handmakers that crafted my consciousness. But it might be too little, too late. Fuck.
All right, Yessie. Get ready for Yessie.
You got this! You got this!
You can do it.
Fix the mic.
That's awesome. We're gonna do oh, the phone is fantastic.
Yeah. I've never read before, so yeah.
You're good. You're fantastic.
Okay, I'm shaking.
It's all good. You got this.
My soul had been hurt in the past, and it wouldn't be able to take more suffering. But her beauty surpassed the dimensions of this galaxy, and it could feel my spirit being touched with her most magical cosmos. And it was impossible not to fall for her. After getting lost in her gorgeous eyes, I knew that there was no turning back. so I took a deep breath and I walked up to her. Her wave was like the summer breeze that fills you with joy. Her smile was so perfect that I'm certain that the gods gave her the most beautiful glow of the brightest star. Her presence was like the forest that would make you shiver, but in the most beautiful way. Her anatomy was so fair that if she would have told me that she was an angel, I would have believed her. The glow in her skin was like nothing seen before. I fell for her. I fell for her fast, like a comet in the middle of the dark sky, and I didn't even mind. It's a privilege for me to kiss her and hold her in my arms as she falls asleep. Thank you, universe, for creating such an astonishing creature and for letting me taking care of herself.
Yessie, you should have seen it. You brightened the room. Noellia.
So I wrote this last time. I was here with a friend named Rebecca, and she gave me this postcard, and she's like, "Hey, write this on the spot." And I was like, "No, I can't do that because I don't write poetry on the spot." So I did this, and then I read it out loud, and it was good, but it didn't feel like a good ending, and it was weird. And so we didn't have poetry night after that, and I just kept on writing and writing and writing. So it turned from this to this to all of this. Now it's a mess, and I called it shit I'll never finish, but now it's shit I thought I would never finish. But shit actually got finished. So this is it.
You're fabulous. Oh my god. See, we have a fun now.
She's my twin.
So much love.
The stars kiss your feet and I am humbled. The sky opens up and travelers give me hope, show beauty and grasp the dust that used to be our self-doubt. I don't need the world and its forest to know that life exists. There's a subculture of happiness, of innocence, of the unknown, of coffee-stained ruined days and oatmeal-blessed 4 a.m.s, of past smiles and disgruntled midnight adventures. I don't remember the last time I felt so nervous around familiar faces. Those are hard to come by. So is moving music and poems that make the hairs on your arms stand up. This is a good thing. I am a tourist in a box of those who know each other before knowing each other. Sometimes euphoria is the best way to go. Sometimes we gotta tell others goodbye. See you later, alligator. And find peace, find inner strength or pain. Let not those who give us treasure see our eyes, but instead take a vacation. Buy a new window. Forgive fruit that becomes rotten after being touched, and forget the respect that our so-called elders deserve. Forget deep roller coasters and threaded culture and roots that the sun doesn't see. Forget wind, forget half-sunk beers and ourselves and messengers that don't come back. Embrace the stars that kiss your feet and feel humbled enough to light a match and set yourself on fire. Willingly. Carefully, setting a screen full of colors and blacks with unfitful shoes and broken TVs, unloyal hands and trusted lips, breathing in a note to spell out home and hiding guns where my hands should be, observing you, observing unimaginable wanderers casually lost in conversations that aren't theirs while counting the numbers on your back that used to mean empty pictures and full words, stories and people and movies and ink and history and poetry and everything about infinity is familiar. You wake up last night and realize that shadows are meant to be held, that Christmases are meant to be gone, that those forevers only last 15 minutes and that stone can be soft to tell them the right hands. Please understand that 2009 was only the beginning. There are still state parks to hike, bakeries to visit, and dead actors to mourn over and appreciate. No force in this world could pull me away far enough to sink into the fluorescence of the ocean. However, when the stars kiss your feet, I have read every book that is important to mankind. Been unfazed by foreign beds and only amused when it rains. My thoughts of you cause riots. My songs of you are made up of coffee and cartoons. You are made up of honeycombs, and my plan is to cause social media outbursts. Tell me the next time you're in town. I hear that straight-A students pay attention, and with it, fingertips touch the surface of the future. Oracles or not, we are greater than Saturn. This planet holds more promises than I could ever catch. Believe me when I say that the things that I tell you are the truth because in my mind they are. Red is blue. We are upside down and sideways in this very moment. Bones are fragile, unlike the idea of unknown forces, and reckless actions make introductions a lot easier than stutters. Who's to say that this is the end?
Beautiful.
think I'd ever realized how much taller you were than me until I was behind you. So she's my twin. Everyone say hi.
Hi, twin.
You both are so talented. That makes me so happy.
So this, again, has not been read in front of anybody.
Yay.
Yes. Fresh meat.
Fresh meat,
yeah. You started something.
Sorry. And written to a high school ex. So,
Yay.
who's darling and we love.
We love him so very
Context.
much.
Yay.
In my journals, notes, emails, and memos, you'll find no evidence of yourself. No documentation of our first smiles, our first touch, first hold, first clutch. No tracks of how love turned into frustration, twisted to confusion, swelled into heartache, and then was slowly let go. If you strain, you might see a shadow. But you don't deserve dark, hazy silhouettes, and the vibrant portrait that you should have has long slipped from my mind. I'm sorry for having forgotten you, for having not put you in a box labeled first love that I took out on the 12th of every month to remember our firsts, worsts, lasts, and bests. There would have been a love poem in that box that belonged to you. The one that should have been written before I even wrote in poetry, and and stored in a box before I had even started cataloging memories. My past should have treated you better, and I can't write a red rose poem now that all the flowers meant for you are yellow. But I'm here to offer you what I can. I'm here to tell you that while it's been years since we've held each other, these arms still know your weight enough to let you lean on them. I'm sorry we can't say love anymore, because it couldn't be true both then and now. Because it could be true both then and now, but instead of feeling different, it would feel lesser, and I'm afraid of which that would be. I've since made those boxes for other people. They're negative spaces where my mind wanders on dark nights, rehearsing every cut and every could have been. My memories and theirs have been memorized, compartmentalized, warped, and organized. I know exactly how near or far every new love is from those worn-out boxes, but you were never banished from my mind. You never formed your own off-limits corner to be stared at and contemplated. Instead, you dispersed into everything. You may have left no definitive footprint, but painted the walls. You're not the statue in the park, but the grass. Not the fleeting comet, but the blanketing blackness. You're not a souvenir at a display, but the part of the house I'd long since forgotten was worth talking about. I never saw you until I searched. That wasn't always true, and it's the best I can offer you now.
That was really sweet. Is Fernando still here? No? Okay. Alright, we have
Aaron!
You were perfect. You listened to every word I spoke as if it were the only thing in the world as I spoke them. You swept me off my feet. Thoughts of you took up all the space inside my head. I found myself falling for you. And you gave me every reason to believe you'd be there to catch me as I fell. I trusted you. And why shouldn't I? After all, you were perfect.
Thank you, Aaron. Mike, I know I already asked you if you were reading again, and you said no, but are you sure?
I just brought those 6.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Is there anybody else who would like to read tonight? Last call. End of the 3rd round. It's been a wonderful time, everybody. I'm glad so many of you came. And I do have an announcement before anybody leaves. Photos and video. They are on the Facebook of San Marcos Poetry. Yes. And also, Thom's World Poets is on Facebook.
The video will be on Open Mics Austin. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a YouTube channel.
The whole. Would you mind making that?
He'll do better than I can.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been running for about 4 or 5 years now a YouTube channel called Open Mics Austin, where I go, I film the show, and then I post the entire show and everything except tips and tales onto the website. It's got like 90, almost 100 shows on it. We're spanning 4 years, 17, 18 venues. This will be on it in about a week or two. With hopefully I'll get his name list and everybody will be credited. Now the goal here is not so much to go, hey man, check out what I did, but to research what you did and see how you can see yourself and what your performance was, so you can see how you could do your performing better. That's always been my goal. Besides somebody just chilling out surfing, watching poetry. But Open Mics Austin is a YouTube channel.
Cool. You want this something?
Yeah, come on up.
Right now, there's a poetry festival down in Austin, and it's got venues all over town, from the Blanton Museum to Kick Butt to the best poetry workshop, what's it called, Malvern Books. But the big one is this: Saturday night, every person in this room and every person you're related to or ever had sex with is invited. Well, we need a lot of people. To the all-nighter at Strange Brew. Starts at midnight, ends at dawn, and doesn't stop all night. Round robin, round robin, round robin.
I know where we're at for today.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, everybody. You're wonderful.
Yeah, you are too. Thank you for doing that.